On in. Hope everyone is doing well. Happy Sunday evening. Just get my ingredients together, then I'll introduce myself and we will get started. Hello, hey Cook, how's it going? Hope you're doing well. All right, I'll go ahead and introduce myself and get started. Hello and good evening. I am Maggie, your substitute teacher. I'm a boy mom times two. I am on a health and wellness journey and I am trying to age gracefully. I'm down over 70 pounds, very close to another milestone. You'll hear about it soon. By completely changing the way that I eat. I've gotten tested for food sensitivities. That's my list on the fridge of what I can have. And I have a list of what I can't have. So my food sensitivity test, hey, Belle, come on in. For anybody new here, it was a cheek swab on the inside and some hair samples. And so that's what I work within. I am doing my weekly egg reset, and someone had asked a question about that, so I just figured I'd come on live. I just got home from the circus. That was fun. So I'm doing eggs and apples today. Plus I have a couple, let's see, I'm going on a trip. We're going on a trip. Okay, whatever. Focus, Maggie. So today, and when I do the egg reset, all I eat are eggs and apples or eggs and strawberries if I don't have apples. Plus, because I'm traveling, I had a couple apples left. I'm going to eat one raw, and then I'm going to go ahead and do the apple dessert in the air fryer. Some of you all have seen it before, and I want to give it some extra time. So I'm going to go ahead and start with that. I think I used my apple core this morning, so it may be in the dishwasher. That's fine. I know what I will do. I will bake it the old-fashioned way. So I have an apple. I don't know what kind of apple this is, but it looks good. It's got a couple spots on it. So anytime I see an apple or any fruit that's got a little bruised fruit or vegetable, I want to go ahead and use it. So I'm going to start by washing. Uh-oh. And we'll just do some old school baked apples. Hey, Paige. All right. So we're starting with dessert. All right, so for this dessert, all you need is an apple, butter. If you can have regular butter, go for it. I can't. I found out I am sensitive to cow dairy, so I am going to be using goat's butter. So that's the substitute that I use. And if you can have sugar, go for it. But I'm using this Truvia. This one is a blend. It is brown sugar blend, stevia and brown sugar. I meant to get the one that was just stevia, and I'm going to use a little bit of that and cinnamon or nutmeg or whatever kind of warming spice that you like. All right, so ideally what you would do is you would use your apple core to go all the way inside here. But you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to go ahead and cut it. I just thought of something I haven't made in a while. I make a very good baked apple dessert if you like apple pie type of vibe. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the apple. I've done it with, I'm going to go ahead and peel it. I'm just going to old school peel the apple. So we're going to peel it and then I'm going to cut it and then I'm going to just take the center out. So all you have is the flesh of the apple. We're going to toss it with some butter and spices, pour it on a baking sheet and bake it. That's what we're going to do. All right, so let me get to peeling. I'll just do it here. Usually I do it in front of the sink. But I'll talk to you guys about this egg and apple fast while I am making this dessert. So one of the things that a nutritionist told me years ago that I don't see anymore, because I'm guilty of, just kind of avoiding the scale like egg, until I started taking my weight loss journey, pretty seriously. I know there are some people who don't weigh at all. They just see how their clothes fit. But, the program that I'm on, I have a starting weight and I have a goal weight. And luckily, for me, my metabolic specialist allows me to weigh myself at home because obviously, if you say you're losing and you're not, so just peeling my apple. I know the nutrients are in the skin. I'm going to eat a whole one, but this is for the baked apple dessert. So what I do is I have a routine where I weigh myself every day. This is completely optional. But the nutritionist that I used to see, it was part of a company I used to work for. She had pretty interesting solution for that. If you have any type of shock or phobia with the number on the scale, she said just make it a habit to weigh yourself every day. I had never heard of that. Scraping out my peelings. All right. So we've got our apple here. I'm just going to go ahead and cut in half, and then cut in half, and then cut in half. So we're going to have our sections of 8. So she said, weigh yourself every day. And I was like, wow, that's pretty intense. But she said, when you make it like a habit where you just weigh yourself every day, like in the morning after you brush your teeth, that's what I do. We all have our morning routine. Careful with the knife, Maggie. I'm just thinking as I'm doing this, I'm making this completely up, but it will be good. And I'll tell you what I'm doing. I'm just taking the seeds out of my apple. I'm just cutting it into little sections after peeling it. So I started doing that. I started weighing myself every day. And what it does is it kind of gets the shock out of your system with the number on the scale. Because, some of us are guilty, I know, of not getting on the scale at all until you go to the doctor for your physical. And then they're telling you, what your BMI is, telling you that you are, overweight, obese. I mean, if you're here watching, you've probably, struggled with that. So I just started weighing myself just to kind of get to the number. Yes, I know the number. I see it every day. Okay. So when I started my weight loss journey, this one that I'm on, the one for life, the serious one. All right, so you guys see what I've done with my apple. I just peeled it, and I think I'm going to cut it into smaller pieces because it'll actually cook faster. So I'm just going to do a rough chop. I started weighing myself every day. I know the number, no shocker. But what's good about that, not only does it get you out of the phobia of, oh my gosh, I don't want to look, but it lets you see when you're going up or down pretty regularly. Now, I know weight fluctuates, right? But I actually am tracking my weight in my iPhone app, and I do like the graph where it's, coming down. I was hoping for pretty consecutively. Showing you guys what I'm doing with the apple. You can see just rough chop. But what I learned about what I learned about my weight loss journey once I took it seriously, even when I'm eating really, clean on my plan, I'm not going to lie to you guys, I like to enjoy myself. I'm flying out Friday for spring break travel. I will take you along with me. But, when I go somewhere new, I want to eat, the local food. I want to have that experience. So, lost a piece of apple. Mmm, mmm. Just by itself, it's good. Trying to see if this is big enough. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm coming back to my story. I'm using my glass gravy boat. I'm going to melt some butter, brown sugar, my sweetener substitute, and nutmeg. You can use cinnamon or whatever warming spice that you like. Just eyeballing everything. I'm making this up as I go, but I think it'll be good. And I'll show you. So I have a nice pat of goat's butter. I'm just putting it inside. And I think I'm going to melt the butter by itself. Again, you can Whole Foods, Delamere goat's butter. So this is going to go in for like 30 seconds. And I'm going to use my air fryer. So I have my air fryer tray. I'm going to line it with foil. So again, with the weight loss, weigh yourself every day if that's something you want to do, which is what I decided to do. I noticed that my weight doesn't come down, pretty regularly. Even if it's just like a half a pound, it comes down as stair steps. All right, so this is what we have. Pause that. I'm coming back to the story. So I've got my melted butter, goat's butter me because I'm sensitive to cow dairy. And then just eyeballing. If you can have brown sugar, use brown sugar. I can't. I avoid sugar. So I'm using this. This is Truvia. This is a brown sugar blend. I think it's 50-50. Half brown sugar, half stevia. So I'm going to put a healthy tablespoon of sweetener in with the brown sugar. Let me know if you know where this is going. A heaping teaspoon. I'm greedy. So you guys can see it looks just like brown sugar. And it kind of clumps like brown sugar, like sand. Mm, mm, mm. And then I'm going to sprinkle generous with the nutmeg. I think I have some cinnamon down there. I'll look and see if it's close. Eyeballing it, completely making it up. All right, 1 second. So we got some cinnamon. All right, so now I'm just gonna mix it. Butter, brown sugar, and spices that you like. Oh, it smells so good, especially warmed. Probably could have used a little bit more butter, but it's okay. We've got a nice little paste. Now I'm going to dump my chopped apples in here. Probably should have used a larger bowl. So let's see. I've got my little folding mat. So I'm just going to curve it and slide it into the gravy boat. So this is what we have. I want to shake it. I love my gravy boats, but I need more surface area. So imagine a shaker salad. I'm just going to pour everything in here. Scrape out. Probably need some more butter. Scrape this out. Yeah. It's kind of clumped up. And I'm going to stir and see if, I just want to get everything coated. Okay, it's not that bad. Tossing it together. Ooh, looks good already. Ooh, I see a piece. I want to eat it. You could probably do this just a dessert. I'll try a raw one. So again, an apple, cored, peeled, butter, brown sugar, cinnamon, and nutmeg. Very good, but still very crunchy. Pouring it on a mat, getting all of it because I'm greedy. Scrape this out. If you like apple pie. All right. And then I'm just going to keep it together, but keep them kind of flat so they're not, on top of each other. So we've got time for them to cook and caramelize. So I'm just making like a little square, but one level. So this is our before. And I'm going to put this in the air fryer on the cake setting, 350, 20, 30 minutes. So literally you just want the apples to soften. You got your spices, you got your sweetener, you got your butter. So you'll get that nice like apple pie filling without the crust. And then maybe I'll top it with like some whipped cream. That'll be yummy. So just completely made that up. I'm coming back to my story, y'all. Cleaning up. I don't want to waste this. Greedy. I'm hungry, y'all. All I've had today are 2 apples, or maybe 3, and 5 eggs. So I'm gonna make a French omelet tonight. But I'm coming back to my story. Whew. All right. Clean up. Wash my hands. Okay, so we were talking about weighing every day. And what I noticed once I started doing that, the stair steps. So what I noticed is that my weight will kind of plateau, then I'll drop a couple pounds, then plateau, and then I'll drop a couple pounds. And for me, it can be really frustrating. I know, my air fryer, it sounds like a rocket. But that can be really frustrating for me when I know I'm eating right. We all know when we're splurging and enjoying ourselves. But sometimes, I would get really frustrated because I'm like, I'm not, splurging on anything and my body's just holding on to the weight. Excuse me. So on one visit to my metabolic specialist, she asked me all the questions. What about this? What about that? And I was like, no, I'm not doing any of that. She said, would you be open to trying an egg reset? I was like, what is that? And she said, for one day, you can have 8 or 9 eggs. So if you eat 3 meals a day, that could be 3 eggs in a meal. I eat 2 meals a day. So I did 5 this morning. I think I'm going to do 3 tonight because I'm going to do the French omelet. You eat 8 or 9 eggs and like 4 or 5 apples. That's it. Of course, have your beverages, your coffee, tea, and water. That's pretty much what I have. I'm not a big soda person, but I pretty much try to drink things that grow from the earth, like water, tea, and coffee, and save sodas or anything that's made in a laboratory for a special treat, like at the movies. And so I said, no, what is this egg reset? So on an egg reset, and I'm not a doctor, I'm just a home cooker. That's what the boys called me when they were little. But it's kind of like a fast where it allows your body to kind of process whatever's, kind of still hanging around and gives you the protein and some natural sugar and fiber you need to keep you full while your body is working through everything else. So it kind of kickstarts your metabolism. And every time I would do it, I would start to lose again after I had been holding for a while. Because like I said, that can be really frustrating. So I told my metabolic specialist, that I really have good results when I do this. She said, never back to back, so only one day. But you can do it as often as you want. So I decided to do it once a week, especially for the month of March, because like I said, I'm traveling Friday. and I'm very close to a major milestone that you all will hear about. And so I'm really hoping that, now that the holidays are over, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, Valentine's Day, all that is over. I really wanted to focus from March 1 to March 31 to eat on my plan and see if I can break this threshold. So, cleaning up, sorry. Sometimes I just go into autopilot. But yeah, so I've done it with eggs and apples. I've done it with eggs and strawberries. Today's an egg and apple day. If you guys, have been here, I love to eat, I love to cook, and I like eating real food. I don't promote, anything that's drastic. This is year 3 for me on my journey because I like to enjoy myself. But, I intend to get this weight off, and I'm doing well. I'm down 70 pounds with at least 30 more to go. But this is just how I eat now. So, I've got a goal, I've got a number in mind, and then we'll just keep going after that. All right. So hopefully that makes sense. I know someone had a question, and I do have an older video on my YouTube about the egg fast. So if you have any specific questions, feel free to ask. But for now, I'm going to make this French omelet because I am hungry. All right, so let's put our sweetener and cinnamon away. Mom taught me to cook with all of my senses so I can smell the cinnamon and the apple like caramelizing and getting yummy in that air fryer. I'm really excited. I'm thirsty. I think I'm going to average from the car and tell you guys a couple of the things that I've done that have helped me. 1 second. For anybody new here, I am going back to regular food tomorrow, and I'm going to repeat what I did yesterday because it was so good. I think I'm going to do the peppers, the stuffed peppers for breakfast. A couple of you all have tagged me that you've made these and they were so good. We literally just take a pepper, cut the top off, and put turkey sausage, egg, cheese, put it under the broiler. It's excellent. So that'll be my first of 2 meals. And then I'm going to do the fish tacos again. I'm going to take that fish out. Everything's okay. But I had a 2-pack of this sea bass, so I'm going to put this in the fridge to thaw out. I'm going to redo the fish tacos that we had yesterday. They were excellent. I want to do a couple things differently. So if you missed that, that'll be my second meal tomorrow. All right, so I'm going to wash my hands and tell you about beverages again. One of the things that's worked for me is to stay, hydrated. Obviously, water is great. You've heard me talk about my alkaline water. But one of the things that I do pretty much every time I leave the house, again, the Panera close to me there's a Panera close to me. And if you have a Panera, or even if you don't have a coffee shop, sometimes the gas stations like Quick Trip and some of them, they have like refill services or subscriptions. So with Panera, you pay once a month, $9.99, and you can have unlimited beverages. I've changed all of my beverages to unsweet. So this is unsweet iced tea. I'm going to go ahead and put this in the fridge. I've got a few of them in there. I just collect them. We'll squeeze some lemon and put some of my 0-calorie sweetener in here. So I kind of feel like I had something too, but I've cut out beverages and condiments are a huge source of sugar and extra calories. You can still eat your food. Making some changes to beverages and condiments, you may get, some results without even trying. So this is going to go in the fridge, and I'm going to drink this coffee. All right, so I'm going to go with mocha. All right, so Skinny Syrups. This is the mocha flavor burst, and it's basically a concentrated syrup. I keep these in my purse, I keep these in my car, and I order, this is just regular Panera coffee with almond milk because I have to avoid dairy, and then I'll put a squirt of this in there. That way I can still have the flavor, that coffee shop flavor there, without the extra calories. Mm. I love it. So this is like a chocolate coffee flavor. They also have vanilla, and they also have um, caramel. All right, so we're going to have our French omelet. All right. All right. So let's go ahead and get started. Perfect. All right, everyone. So the French omelet this morning, if you were on, I made fried eggs, traditional fried eggs, because again, all I'm eating today are eggs and apples. When I do the reset, since I weigh every day, I have my number in my head, and I'm hoping to drop a couple of pounds. That's usually what happens, but it just gives my body time to process. Because one of the things that I learned after my food sensitivity test is that there are some foods that we eat that your body just, processes great. You're running like a race car. And there's some foods that your body takes a long time to really break down, and so that they hang around, and that's where you get the inflammation, and for me, joint pain, aches, and all the other things that I thought was just getting older. It's not, because when I changed my diet, I felt better within 2 days. All right, so tomorrow will be stuffed peppers for breakfast. Because I'm traveling, I'm trying to cut back on the shopping and just eat up the produce that I have. That's why we're using up the apples tonight, and then peppers tomorrow and the next day. All right, so the French omelet is really just about the technique. All it is eggs and butter. French cooking, French cuisine is excellent. It's just very delicate, but they cook in a way that kind of enhances the natural flavor of things, and they use really good ingredients. That's just the truth. But I can't have cheese on my egg fast, so I'm going to make an omelet that kind of simulates the cheese experience. So it's going to be set on the bottom, then you roll it into itself like a burrito, set on the bottom, still kind of wet and jiggly on the top. So when you roll it into itself, it's almost like it has that creamy, cheesy texture on the inside, even though it's just eggs. All right, so I'm starting with my gravy boat. I like this. This is just Walmart. It allows me to pour. I melt in it. It's got a nice sturdy base and a nice cool handle. So we're going to do 3 eggs, because the last time when I did 4 eggs, it was too much. I think the proper French omelet, they either do 2 or 3 eggs. All right. So the French omelet, you cook fast over high heat. All right, egg number 1. Egg number 2. Egg number 3. All right. So this is what we have, and I'm going to go ahead and salt them here. Some people salt after. I like to salt before or as I'm cooking. I mean, of course, I can't taste the raw egg. Some people eat them raw. I don't. But this allows you to, just kind of get that flavor in every bite instead of on the top. But hey, do what works for you. I don't have to watch salt on my plan. I have to watch sugar. If you have to watch salt, I understand. I finished talking about the beverage though. We did talk about the mocha. So this is coffee, almond milk, and zero sugar mocha. But my point, I keep one of these tumblers, sometimes two of them, in the car empty and clean. So when I'm out and about, I usually try to, I work from home and I don't go out unless I have to, but when I'm out and about running errands, I'll have an empty tumbler with me so I can run in and get a free refill. And sometimes just having, a beverage, whether it's unsweet iced tea with your own sweetener or unsweet coffee with your own sweetener will be enough to, carry you home so that you can come cook your own food so that you're not in the drive-through like I used to be. Salt. I would check on the apples, but I'm just going to let them sit and do their thing. I think they'll cook faster, but I'm totally fine with that. All right, so I'm going to salt. And then I'm going to, I was going to beat the eggs. I'm going to go ahead and put the butter in the pan. If you can have regular butter, please use it. This is goat's butter made from goat's milk. For me, it tastes like butter, cooks like butter, but it's non-cow dairy, which I'm sensitive to. So the brand is Delamere. You can get it at Whole Foods. You can also order it online at Caputo's in bulk. Okay, so I'm going to get a nice pat of butter, and then I'm going to tell you guys what I'm doing. So I've got a pat of butter, and I'm putting it in the pan. I'm going to go ahead and put it on the stove on medium-high heat. When the butter melts down, it's going to melt, and then it's going to foam, bubble, before it turns brown. You want to put the eggs in before the butter turns brown. That's the key with the French omelet, is that it's not brown on the outside like an American omelet, then you stuff and like fold it over each other. You want the whole thing to be a homogeneous yellow. So let's go ahead and get this started. All right, so while our butter is melting, hey Taranga, I'm going to go ahead and beat my eggs. So for the French omelet, I have 3 eggs here that have been salted, and I'm just going to beat them. And you want to beat them kind of well, very well, because you want the French omelet to be all yellow. You don't want to have, and this is happening, some white spots where you still had some egg white that wasn't mixed in really well. So I'm just beating this egg until it's all one color. Then I'm going to go check on the stove and see how our butter is doing, because I need to pour this, and then I'll tell you what happens next, because it goes kind of fast. Okay, so our butter is still melting. I want to wait until it's foamy and sizzling. All right, so here's what's going to happen. As soon as the butter starts foaming in the pan, you love a French omelet. We should do a cook-along. I'll tell you guys what that is in a second. So as soon as the butter starts foaming, I'm going to pour the eggs inside, and then I'm going to continue to beat them in the pan over the high heat, and that brings in, like, it whips in air and gives you these nice little curdles in the omelet that simulate the cheese experience, because I'm not eating cheese today. Okay, our butter is ready. I'll show you what we have. So you guys can see it's nice and sizzly and foamy, but not brown. All right, I always get nervous. I had to practice this several times, but let's see how we do. you guys are able to see, I've got some nice curdles in there, and I want to get it set on the bottom before I roll it up. All right, so the bottom is set to me because when I move it, the whole thing moves. Now here's the tricky part. It's going to continue to cook. I'm going to get my spatula. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold it underhand. I'm going to get the pan underhand, and then I'm going to flip the first little side of the omelet like a little roll. You can see what we have here. So you can see the bottom is completely set, but the inside is still kind of jiggly. So I'm just going to continue to roll it carefully on itself. You want to make sure you're using as nice of a non-stick as you can. So when you roll it up, it literally just comes off. My pan, I know, it looks kind of janky, but this is what I have. And I put, a decent amount of butter. And then the last little roll is always the hardest for me. Okay. I think I got it. Can you guys see there? And I am going to plate it. So it will continue to cook as you rolled it up into itself. Let me see if I can get a plate because I'm hungry. And I'm going to check on our apples. You guys see what we have here? I'm going to let them keep going, but these are our apples. Peeled, cored, cut, butter, brown sugar substitute, and cinnamon and nutmeg. All right, I'm going to clean up and I'm going to plate my omelet. I know Mr. Taranga. Ah, he says beautiful. I was just about to ask. I'm not a proper chef. I'm just a home cook, so I appreciate the compliment, chef. Just cleaning up. All right, washing my hands. Now let me plate. I think in the picture, it had like some chives or something on there. I'm just gonna do mine plain on my egg fast. So I have a nice square plate, and literally it should just come out like this, like a little burrito. I'm gonna cut into it so you guys can see. I think I wanna get my apple out of the air fryer. Let me taste one and I'll do the little presentation. I can already tell it's very soft. I know it's lava hot, but if you like apple pie, this is a great substitute. Aw, thank you, Taranga. What do you do when you're hungry? Oh my God, amazing. I'm gonna take it out and I'm going to top it with a little bit of this coconut cream. Completely unexpected, but excellent. While I take that out, I wanna talk to you guys about the cook along. So Taranga, if you're interested. This is only month 2 of Maggie, the substitute teacher. It just started with me, cooking the food that I eat, and then I would post the finished product on Instagram or Facebook, and people would say, "Wow, that looks amazing. Did you make that?" And I'd be like, "Yeah, I made that." And then, because people didn't believe, I started doing the before and after. So I would post the ingredients, and then I would post the finished product. And then people started asking me, "Well, how did you make that?" And so I started giving instructions and narrating what I was doing with the still pictures. And then I just decided, you know what, I'm going to bring you guys in the kitchen. When I'm here, I'll just turn on the camera. So what I cook, I actually eat. Come on, apples, I'm hungry. Okay. Look at this. For our egg and apple fast, I'm going to carefully put them into my little ramekin with a little whipped cream, take a picture, and then eat. All right, so while I'm doing this, and then I'll show you guys the cook along. If you want to cook with me, and I've done it twice, it's gone great. The first time, Lisa and we did crab cakes. Those were excellent. And all these videos are still, on my Instagram and on my Facebook and on my YouTube channel. Please make sure you're subscribed to me on YouTube. Thank you all. I now have a community tab, and I'm traveling soon, and I will be taking you with me to show you where I'm going and what I'm eating. But if you're interested in cooking with me, the cook along, you can participate in one of 3 ways. The first way is just what you're doing now. Sit back, relax, and watch me cook and tell you what I'm doing. I'm using 2 spoons with the apples, guys, because it's really hot. That's option 1, sit back, relax, and watch. Option 2, I'll post the recipe. You can get your ingredients, and you could cook offline, and you can use the video kind of as a guide if it helps you to do the steps and then pause them. And then when you make the finished product, inbox me or tag me. People have started doing that with the stuffed peppers. That's a lot of fun. Or if you want to cook in real time, I can share the screen with you, and I can bring you on either Instagram or bring you on Facebook, Twitter, whatever this is, YouTube. Y'all, I'm new at this. My apples. Oh my God. Coconut cream. I'm taking a picture and I'm eating. Oh. Here I come, y'all. I'll show you. I put too much whipped cream on it, but it's starting to peek out a little bit. You know what would be pretty? If I dusted it with a little nutmeg. So I can give you the link. We can just, meet before just to make sure all the technology is working. And then we can go through step by step. So these are our apples, baked apples, taking pictures. This will go up on my page in my community tab. And then I'm ready to eat. So yeah, if anybody wants to do a cook along with me, please let me know. And drool, right? I'm starting with dessert. Dairy-free, sugar-free, the Truvia, gluten-free. Why did I start with that? Now I want to eat the whole thing, and I will, but I'll eat my eggs. So you can see our French omelet, it's still warm, and you see rolling it up on itself. So good, so creamy, still warm, fluffy. Gives you the cheese egg experience without cheese, because today I'm doing the egg fast, and I got it nice and all yellow, no brown spots. Not bad, Maggie. It is so excellent. Taranga says, wow. So yeah, it's really yummy. It's really, really yummy. Just eggs, butter, and salt. Mm, mm. Set on the outside, creamy on the inside. You all, I get my inspiration from everywhere. Because I work from home, thankfully, I keep the TV on, the cooking shows on mute. I used to keep it on the news, but that was too depressing. So I'll have Food Network on, I'll have any of the cooking shows on, and I would see these beautiful meals that they would be making, and I would say, oh man, that looks amazing. But I can't have that, and I can't have that, and I can't have that, because I have my list of foods that I have to avoid for my sensitivity test. And then I started thinking, well, I can have this and I can have that. So I started substituting ingredients that I used to love for the ones that love me back. And that's where the whole Maggie the Substitute Teacher came from. Mm, y'all. Excellent. Eggs are a great source of protein. I'm eating this whole thing. This is my last meal. It is exquisite. If I put this in front of you, you would eat it. Because I want those apples. Give it a try. Mm. Any questions? I don't want to be just greedy and eating here, but I'm going to eat my baked apple with the coconut cream. Even by itself, excellent. Oh my God. You can't tell me this isn't. God. Mm. I don't even miss the crust. So good. All right, I don't want to be greedy. I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. The sweetener, the butter, the warm spices, it's excellent. So, I wanted to talk to you guys about the egg reset. Fingers crossed, it does the trick. I'm going to finish this coffee, tea, water, maybe have some apple cider vinegar, and hopefully it does the trick. Tomorrow we'll be back on regular food. I eat every day, so I give you a post every day. We'll see what time breakfast is. I have to look at my schedule, but I'll plan it so you guys can know to find me here. But for now, stay tuned for the cook-alongs. Yeah, Taranga, take a look. If you go back and you see the one that has the crab cake, that was the cook-along, and one that had the squash lasagna. If anybody's interested in the cook-along, just inbox me and we'll set up a date and time. You pick the recipe, and you make the full flavor version, and I'll make the substitute version. All right, you guys. Good night, Instagram, and goodbye, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. If I can get